way nowadays use a Jenkins in the real world, okay, is very automated way. What I mean by this, okay, so you guys know one thing. Let me guys very quickly launch my Jenkins also. Okay, 1 minute please. I've done something here. Let me stop. 1 minute. Okay, so you guys know what is Jenkins. Jenkins is an automation tool, but till date we have seen a lot of automation, everything working fine, no doubt. Okay, but till date, uh, one thing in the Jenkins guys is still manual. Again, I'm repeating, Jenkins is an automation tool, but till date guys, lots of things we keep on doing in the Jenkins, right, is still very much manual. What I mean by this, okay, so let me go to my Jenkins page or Jenkins dashboard or console. Let me tell you guys what I mean by this manual here. Okay, so in this particular IP address we have a Jenkins running. Okay, 1 minute. Why this coming up? Let me restart my Jenkins. So 1 minute please, let me check. So Jenkins started. Yeah, so they're waiting actually, because when you start Jenkins load on the top of JVM, they don't have their own by default app server, so they create their own app server behind the scene. Okay, and on the top of app server they launch Jenkins war file. So Jenkins guys always come with a war file. Okay, so if you have any app server, maybe Tomcat or JBoss, you can run the Jenkins war file there. Okay, but if right now we haven't provided any war file, so app server to Jenkins, so they create their own. So it takes some time after we start the services. Okay, there's a different point, but what I'm talking about guys here is very important topic. Till date guys, what I do in the Jenkins is for automation purpose, but still guys, there's something in the Jenkins guys we keep on doing from the first day, but that was pure manual thing. Okay, what I mean by this, so guys, when you create any job, you give a job name, let's say J123. You select freestyle. You select okay. Okay, 1 minute. Then you guys might put some description. Let's say this is description. You guys might put some restriction of the project, or maybe unselect this, or maybe you put some GitHub links. Okay, or maybe you can go and set the triggers. You can put command lines and post builds. So a lot of things you do. Technically, you create a job. Okay, but guys, job will help you to automate the thing that. But creating the job is still manual thing. How we create a job guys here? I manually put everything. We put all the data here, and we manually create the entire job. Now it's depend upon job to job. Some job have 1 step, some job have 100 steps. So it's job to job. But whenever you create a job, creating the job, I can say setting up the job, it's still a manual thing we have done till then. Okay, so maybe sometimes okay to create the job manually, but I want in the Jenkins, whatever I'm going to do in the Jenkins, it should be automated, even though creating the job is also automated. And why we need automation guys? You guys know one thing. Automation will help you to do the thing faster, right? If I ask to create the same job 10 times, maybe in one of the steps you might miss some missteps, so there's some kind of error gonna come up. Okay, or if I ask you that what are jobs I have set up here, same job I want to set up in other Jenkins and other company, or maybe one more Jenkins running in my other environment. So all the job I want to set up there. So again, take a lot of time guys to copy this job, keep on typing everything whatever I did here in other Jenkins system. Okay, so my point guys here is Manual is never the good thing. It will take a lot of time. If you want to create same thing again, if you do same thing again, there may be a challenge of some some kind of mistakes or some error gonna happen. Okay, and there's one more challenge, guys, come up in if you talk about the manual manual thing here. By chance, okay, if somebody want to create a job, but they don't have access in the Jenkins portal. Let's say this Jenkins is managed by IT guys, okay, but developer want to create their own job, and by chance, due to some reason, we can't provide access and login and password of the Jenkins portal. If we can't provide, they will go and come and log in here. Okay, due to any of the reason. Okay, so what can we do? We ask my other team member, okay, and say, can you do one thing? Okay, tell me the list, tell me the steps, what you want to configure. Configure. So instead of you, I will go and click here. I will go and click here and and doing all the thing for you. But understand, guys, in this flow, there's one challenge. Okay, what will happen? Let's say my developer want to create their own job, because developer need what they know. they want, because developer know they create a code in Java, and for Java they want to use Maven, and Maven they want to they don't want to do testing. They directly want to create a package and then they deploy the package. And they want to deploy the package in Tomcat, or maybe they want to deploy the package in JBoss web server, app server. So they know their requirement. So dev guys will create and write the steps. I want this is first one, this is second one, this is third one, and these steps, this document, if I provide it to my IT guys or admin guys who is managing the Jenkins, and they create the job again, how manual, they type all the step 1 and 2. Possibility would be whatever dev guys are looking for, maybe they might miss the steps. And they run the job. Okay, because obviously they might miss the steps. Whatever we are looking for, these guys looking for, same output not gonna come. Okay, and maybe there might be chances I can't provide account to this guy to create the job. So technically what I'm talking about here, okay, here to properly manage this, what can we do? We can tell my developer, okay, instead of writing these steps in a document or a notepad, okay, create one thing, convert this step, because you know all this is what job. So create this job as a code. Okay, what I mean by this, okay, instead you write the step in some document. Okay, Jenkins is a tool. Okay, let me write here. Jenkins is a tool. Okay, there you can create the job in two way. Finally, guys, in the Jenkins, job is the one who gonna run, right? But if you want to create the job, there's two way job can be created. One is the manual way, the way we have done till date, and one with the help of automation. We can also create a job also with the automation. And guys, when I talk about automation, only the way to create automation is with the help of code. So we can create the job with the help of code. Technically, is known as job as code. So, you know, it is something like this. If you guys know something about infrastructure, we can also create an entire infrastructure as code. It's called infrastructure as code. One of the great tools we have is called Terraform, for example, or maybe if you go to AWS Cloud, we have a cloud formation. So entire infrastructure, we can create a code. Same, something like this, we know by chance, but same thing we're going to do here. We can create a job rather than manually. We can create the job with the help of code. Okay. And an interesting thing would happen. I'll tell my developer, you are a developer, you are good in programming, you got good in concepts, right? So do one thing, I'll tell you some more concept about Jenkins. Normally developer know. And whatever you have the steps and the requirement, what are jobs you want to create the job as a code. And this coding file or this program file or this template provide to us. The only thing the IT guys has to do, they have to run this code, that's all. They have to run this code. And now when they run this code, automatically new job created. So they don't have to manually go and type manual way. Now this job created automatically. So obviously if you create this job 100 times or 110 times, right, we can copy this job because the code, I can provide this job as a code for other team also. They have their own Jenkins. So everybody has the same job created, same environment created, right? It's a unique environment, it's a similar environment created in everywhere, anywhere. Because now this time job is created with a code. And that's what, guys, we are going to do. So final point, guys, here is in simple term. I'm just trying to explain you multiple different use case of this. But today, guys, I'm going to create new job rather than by this. Okay, I'm not creating the job in this way. It's called manual way. Okay, we are going to create a job with the help of code. That's called job as code. Okay, that's Jenkins support, and they also recommend also this kind of setup. Okay, that's what we're going to do. But understand one thing: if you are going to write a code, you need some language. You need some language. Okay, which language you can use? So you guys know one thing: Jenkins is actually created in a language called Java, and that is the reason, guys, you need Java environment to run the Jenkins. Okay, so one possibility would be you can create a code in a Java language. But challenge here, guys, if you create a code in Java language, so every time you have to create, compile the code, create a byte code and run it. So it will be sometimes complex and longer process. Okay, that is the reason, guys, Java environment support one thing. Okay, where you can use Java environment like a normal interpreter. Guys, anybody who know Ruby language or Python language, the good thing about this language is just create a code and run the code. Create the code, run the code. You don't have to compile it, create an object and classes or bytecode. Directly run it. It's like a click and run it. There's something like this. So Java means I'm talking about JVM. So JVM also have a support where you can directly put the code and run it. You don't have to compile it. So Java runtime has this kind of support. By this, and for this, they have multiple languages available in the market for to supporting this. Okay, where you can use Java environment to run the code directly. So one of the very famous language that we use a lot in this kind of requirement, Jenkins also use same language called Groovy. Groovy is just a language where we write the code. Okay, and for running the code, we need JVM or Java runtime environment. Okay, interesting thing is we don't have to compile it or create a bytecode. We directly put the code here and they run for us on the fly. So there's a beauty of Groovy. Groovy is not only the language, we have some other also, but by chance Jenkins support Groovy. So point, guys, here is if you want to create a job, you write a code, and for coding you need a Groovy as a language. It's so simple language, nothing complex here. Anybody who know language, any language, and don't know any language, doesn't matter. It's so simple language. Okay, but here, because we are going to use Groovy, okay, that will work for the Java. That's what for the Jenkins. So for the Jenkins perspective, Groovy is a domain specific language, DSL. Okay, so Jenkins is a platform. Every platform, if any platform do automation for you, so every platform has their own language. For example, anybody who know Terraform, they have their own language. If anybody know Ansible, they have their own language. So these are the platform who doing something for you. For example, if you go for Terraform, they help in multi-cloud world to automate your cloud and other platforms. If you go Ansible, there is a configuration management tool. They will automate the configuration for servers. Jenkins is automation tool that guys right now. So in this tool, if you want automation for their respective thing, so they have their own specific language. It's called domain specific language. So for Jenkins, okay, the domain specific language for Jenkins is Groovy, or I can say Groovy syntax. That would be the better way to say. Okay, so let's from here we will start. So finally, I want my job to be automatically created. There's the final target we have. There's called job as a code. The DSL language that we're going to use to write the code is Groovy. That is a guy's entire summary of my discussion. Okay, and for this guys, you have to install a plugin. Okay, so go for plugin and search for plugin called DSL. In my case, I already installed this plugin I need. Okay, so this plugin will create a job with the help of DSL, and here the language of DSL is Groovy that we are going to use. So this plugin I already installed. Let me open your document and put everything here step by step. So today, guys, go in the code. We are going to write a lot of code, but don't worry, guys. The way I'm going to write a code is so much simple. So if you have no experience in programming, if you have no experience in Groovy also, even though you will guys understand what is going on. Okay. So what my place. So this is the plugin, guys, we need to install. In my case, I already installed. Okay, so we can directly go and start typing. So the final process would be like this. I already explained to you. So let's say you are the developer and you want to create your own job without having the account. Okay, you can create your own job. Okay, maybe you're a developer or maybe other team member, doesn't matter. So you will create a code. This code will help you to create the job. You put this code in one file, obviously it's called program file, and provide this program file to your IT guys or the guy who admin the Jenkins. Okay, and this file they will run. They will run inside, obviously inside the Jenkins. But understand one thing, guys, anything that you want to run inside the Jenkins is also require a job. So this guy's duty is to do only one thing, to create this job. Okay, and the duty of this job is to run this code. This code. And what this code will do, this code will create a job. That's the actual job that my developer is looking for. So technically there's two jobs we have created. One job is just to as a helper job, okay, who help me to create my main job, what my developer need. Or this helper job is actually also known as seed job. And this seed job will create new job that my developer wanted to create from their code. Or maybe here you can say this is the kind of child job they created. So my IT team has to only create one seed job. At one time they have to create. Okay, one time we have to create this seed job, because whenever anything change in this code, and guys, because this code obviously this code developer put in the GitHub, and you guys know anything come in the GitHub new, I'll tell my job the seed job trigger, they re-trigger automatically. You guys know how the trigger work. They download the new code and the code will update the new job. So technically, my guys, in this case, my developer without having any account in the Jenkins, okay, they can create the job or they can update the job without logging to Jenkins portal or without having any account to Jenkins portal. But who help to create the job or update the job? This seed job. And this seed job we have to create only one. Okay, so guys, now it's very interesting or dynamic environment. Okay, now developer is the one who decide their actual app code and they decide all the steps they want to need in this job without coming to Jenkins. So you just try to think, guys, this process is so much dynamic and is so much automated. Okay, so like that is the reason, guys, I said this topic is very interesting, and this is exactly the way we normally work in the industry world. Okay, so till date, guys, I just giving you a lot of vocabulary and concept of the job. Now all the concept we learned till date, we'll try to create this concept as a code. Not concept as a code, job as a code. Okay, so let's do one by one. Okay, so what I'm going to create, let's say I am IT guys of the or Jenkins guys, I have the account and I'm going to create a job, but this job is a seed job. And how to create a seed job is so simple. Again, same way, new item, let's say Linux World seed job, just give any name. Okay, and again freestyle. Till here everything is same, no difference. And this is the one time they have to create, let's say per developer they create or per team they create. Okay, and now in the last, they don't have to do anything else here. In the build step, okay, this option come up, process job DSL, and this option come after you install DSL plugin. This option come up here. Okay, and here they're looking for where is the Groovy script. You give the path of this Groovy script. And where script come from? Here they will add this GitHub account. So wherever my developer is uploading this code they're uploading the code in GitHub, my C job will tell my code is located here. The download, you guys know the download in the current workspace, and in this file, what are my name of my script? Let's my code a job as dot something. They give the name. Okay, so pretty simple. There's one thing they have to create. But I know, guys, I'm not going for this long process, GitHub and download. This part you know already. To make it simple, I'm directly creating the script here. So here, guys, they give you this box. Let me expand. And here you can directly type your script. Type your script. Okay, that's what I'm doing here. So technically, LWC job where I'm in, I'm not sharing anything here. Nothing. But hey, I'm just putting my Groovy script. And what this script will do, when this job run, this script run, when this script run, so in the current Jenkins, they will create a new job for you. Depend, guys, what we write in this script. So let me start, guys, one by one. Okay, for this, because this is a language, and guys, in the language, okay, if you want to do something, for everything, we need a function. Typically, it is also known as a method. We need some method. So if you want to create a job, again, we have method available. In the job, you want to add a GitHub URL, again, we have method. We want to run a cell command, we have method. We want to tell and set up the trigger, we have the method. So everything, we have a method available, but technically here it's also known as API. So everything we have an API available. Okay, where you find all the API, we have a great document here. It's called job DSL API. So this is a great document. Let me open. Okay, so this is one document. By chance, it is hosted in your current Jenkins, but same document you can find in Google also in Jenkins doc. Okay, this is a great document, very much helpful. Almost whatever you can do in Jenkins manually, okay, you can do everything by DSL. And everything, guys, we have added here. Everything all the method is available here. Okay, for example, it's very clear. One of the method is called job. So we click here in the job. They give this example. Or more specific, guys, let me click on the job. Okay, and if I go for particular thing, for example, in the job, guys, when you create a job, you always sometimes you write a description in the job. So we have a description method available. And this is one example they give you. So let me copy paste this example from here. Let me go to Jenkins and put here. Okay, so what is the meaning of this line? Okay, so let me explain you the meaning of this line. So technically, first of all, guys, the syntax that I'm using here, this syntax is from a Groovy language. In the Groovy language, guys, first we give a function name. Here's called job. We give some argument name. Here is a name of my job. Then we have function started. It's a block of code, and then we have multiple statements. But by chance, this statement is also one function. And what this statement will do? This statement, guys, in this function, they add one step. Step would be they add one description. So technically, the meaning of this line is, let's say you want to create a new job. Let's say name is called line is called automate job one. So that's why, guys, if this function run, okay, this function will create a job with this name, and in this job they create a description called my describe first job. Automate. That's all. So this is smallest automation job we create, or I can say this is a job as a code we have written. And then save it. Okay, as right now it's like a normal job, and it's not yet run at all. But as soon as I run this job, what you will see, okay, you will see automatic one new job created with the name of Linux World, some job. Okay, so as you run this job, okay, let me change the job. Let me change the name of my job. So it will come in the top, AA something. So you won't see any job, guys, with the name of AA in the top. So as soon as I run this job, okay, this job gonna create a new job for us. So let me build. Okay, there's no error come up. See, let me see the console output. And what they say, yes, I am a digital script. I come to know, and you asking me to create a new job with this name. I am successful, and I created a new job for us. And now, guys, again, if you see the same job, you will come to know, okay, this guy generated a new job. And if you again go to dashboard, you come to know new job automatically created. And what is there in the job? If you go in the configuration, you can see this line automatically come up. Nothing is there. Okay, this line automatically come up. Why this line come up? Because the guy who created the job write the description. But right now, guys, this discussion is not made by me, not manual way. Some other job or some code has put this description, this called job as a code or job as automation we have done. And one more thing I can see here, who created the job? Okay, it's created by this shield job. So this is the one who create this job. Okay, obviously this is the we haven't run yet, but this job is created by this job. Okay, those are guys simplest thing we have done here, and this document is very much useful. Let me do one more thing. Normally, what you do, guys, in the job, okay, after creating the job, you add a step. For example, in this particular job, if you see in the configure, the job, we don't have any step here. I don't have any cell execute step here. So either you come manually and run the command or type the command. Okay, that would be manual way. Or what can I do? I can go to my seed job, the seed job, and I ask them, okay, create a new job or update job that you already have. Is this one. And in this job, do some more thing. You can understand one thing, whatever you want to do, you have to add a method here or function here. And what you want to do, you know your requirement, right? I know I had to add some cell related thing or cell commands or cell kind of a step I want to add. Okay, so for this, what can you do? Just go again in your document and search, do you have any method related to cell? You can find a lot of method we have related to cell. And that's one thing, guys, cell is a method that is more about the, I can say, step. Okay, so if you guys see here in some of the job, let me again go out. Okay, so guys, if you talk about cell, okay, cell is normally come in the steps. So either can cell step, then Maven step. So Maven, cell, these are the steps actually. Okay, these are the steps. So what I'm talking about finally, okay, if you see here, cell come up, but they come into the step context. Here, cell step context. So you can think step context is a big name. Under the step context, cell also come up, Maven also come up, and some more steps also come up. Okay, so technically you have to just click here, or maybe you can search for step. Okay, and you can find a keyword called step, and it's a part of freestyle. Guys, when you create a job, we always create a freestyle project. So if you want to create a job with freestyle project, and the freestyle project, if you want to put as steps, one step would be sell, for example. So you can just click here. They give the help of step, and guys, here they are very clear in the job which step you want to put. You want to put a sell step, Maven step, Gradle step, whatever they have support, you can put it. But in my case, I want to put the step called step. Let me copy this line and let me go here and type. So inside the job, let me type. And here I'm going to put the step called only shell. So in this job, the only creators means they're going to update. They're going to put one step. Okay, and the step they will create a step for the cell. So here they're calling the cell function. And what they do, they put the command echo. Or maybe let's say I would put the command called delete. Okay, so let me save. So I update something seed job. Let me again build the seed job. When they run, they create a new job. Which job they created? This one. They already created the episode, which means they updated. So I go to this job. Okay, and if you can guys see in the configuration, this description automatically come up because of my seed job. This name come up because of my seed job. And if you go to my build section, you can come to know automate this command come up. Okay, from the cell. Why? Because of my seed job. So everything, guys, is done by seed job. You don't have to manually create anything. So you can think in this way. You can think in this way, guys. This particular code, my developer or my other team or QA team has created. They upload this code in the GitHub. We download from the GitHub, look for this code over here and run it. So without coming to Jenkins, any of the team, by providing this instruction or DSL language, in this syntax is called Groovy language syntax, they can run the job. Or they can not run, they can create the job. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, this is one thing. So let me do some more thing here. Okay, let's do one thing. Guys, in one of my class, I use a project called Maven. And we guys download this project from GitHub. Okay, so let me do the same thing. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I go to my again GitHub, and I think this was the simple project. Okay, and this is the code we have. So what I want to add one more thing here. Okay, so this seed job gonna create a project, but in this project, guys, I want they will add one more step that will go to my SCM tool that's called GitHub, and in the GitHub they download this particular project. Okay, so manual is so simple. There's nothing special. We can go and manually write in the source code over here in that job and tell the requirement. We tell here from which URL to download and go to advanced from or maybe branch, which branch to download. You can tell everything here. Okay, but here I don't want to do this step manually. I want okay to everything done by DSL. So for this, again, I go to manual. So again, I go to my doc here and search for that I want to do something SCM, source code management. And guys, here because I want to create a freestyle job. So this here SCM freestyle method we have. In the last they write freestyle job SCM. So I click here, example come up, and guys, here this is exactly same example I'm looking for. Okay, so let me copy this example and let me post somewhere here. And here sequence doesn't matter because we are configuring the job, right? So you can put in any of the sequence, but this is the one statement we have. This is one statement. Okay, so this GitHub. But guys, maybe you want to change something here. Maybe this line doesn't make any sense here much. So you want to see some more data about GitHub, what exactly they support. Maybe you have different requirement. Maybe by chance this function will always download from master branch, but you want to download from other branch, right? Or maybe something like this. So guys, here When you go for this help, they show you this three dot dot. If you click here, they expand and they'll tell you everything. So SM is just a keyword. They have a capability to get data directly with the Git also. We might have some local Git server. They support GitHub also. They support Mercurial also. They support Perforce also. They support Team Concert also, Subversion also. So lots of things they support. But my requirement, guys, I would love to get the data from GitHub. GitHub. Okay. So now in the GitHub function, either there is a link here. So guys, here GitHub. I click on this link. They take me to the GitHub page. So this example comes there. Now here they tell in this function what all argument they support. So what are argument is called owner and project. Okay, and what is owner project, guys? They tell you the detail. So technically, in my case is this is the value of owner project. Means tell the owner of GitHub and project name. So in my case, the owner is Vimal.linuxworld. Let me copy here. So in my case, the owner is my account. So here I have to give you account name. And in my account, the project is this. Understand, guys, .git is not project. Your project name is still here. Don't add the Git. So GitHub plugin, guys, already know where is GitHub. You don't have to tell this plugin already know or this method already know. But here just tell which account to go and which project you want to put. Okay. Maybe in your project, you might have multiple branches. From which branch you want to download? So again, go to help and they say you can tell your branch name also. By default, it is master branch only. But if you want to change, okay, you can change also. So here, guys, GitHub is a function and I can pass one more argument here. And here my case is master branch. Okay, it's not compulsory here, but if you have different branch altogether, you can type. So that's what I'm talking about, guys. The document is very important because obviously the DSL is not created by us. Somebody created. How I know what they support. Okay, so in this job, there's three functions we use: description, who update the description, SCM, they update the GitHub, and step, they will add a cell step here. Okay, let me save. Again, run the job. Okay, my seed job created a new job. This job is created. If I go to this job and see the configuration, you can see automatically they add a GitHub project. Okay. Okay. But main thing is here, guys, they add this URL with master branch. So technically, this job is automatically created for us, but you can run it. But how to run the job? That's you guys know already. Okay, if you want to run the job, we have triggers, memory start, a lot of triggers we have. That will taken care about running the job. So running the job is not big deal. But who create the job? This matter a lot. That's what we are discussing here. Here, guys, this job is created by by other job. This goes seed job. Okay, now let's do one more thing here, guys. After download this project, so if you remember, guys, this project contain Java code. Okay, so normally what we do, we build this code with Maven. Okay, and guys, normally if you see, if you want to build Maven, so normally you have to go to build, and here you have to add one more step. This called Maven. There's a way normally you configure the job, but here I don't want to configure manually. Okay, I want my seed job will go to create. Okay, so I will go to again my seed job and tell my seed job that what a job you are going to create. Okay, I want to add one more step, and this step would be Maven. But what syntax Maven support, I don't know. Go here again, search anything data you have for Maven. Okay, so they tell a lot of things about the Maven, whatever they support. Okay, so so here in the Maven, maybe I can go to Maven job or Maven context, or maybe I can go for let's go for step. Okay, so I'll go to freestyle job. Take the help. You support cell command. I know but you also should have Maven. Okay, so they support Ant also. Anybody know Ant? And they support CMAC. They support other DSL. Gradle they support something like Maven. Yeah, they have Maven also. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, so I click on this Maven. Here they give me this example. The step, these are the steps they can do. So let me copy one of the step here. Pretty simple. Okay, and paste here. So insert step, I create a paste Maven. And you guys know what Maven will do. Maven will run the steps. And one step you guys know is a package. Package step they do for you. Pretty straightforward, right? So there's two steps we have. One in Maven, one in Cell. Maybe Cell might not be useful right now, but let me focus more on Maven. Click. And again, I build. So this will create a job again with one more step. And if I go to this job and configure, okay, and you see guys, one more step they added for you, okay, is this one, package. But one challenge that you see here, when they add this step, that's why I wanted, they add a goal called package. Okay, but here guys, I told you in my last class, I need my Maven version, my Maven. Because in my system, I stored this Maven in some folder, and I set up in my Jenkins that if I want to use Maven, I want to use this version of Maven. So how can I set this particular version of Maven? Okay, so because this is my Maven installation we have done. So how I can set Maven installation for this goal? Okay, so again, go to the help and check, does they have any option here in the help where I can specify the goal my package, or maybe compile. Okay, or here we can specify Maven installation. So these are keyword guys I can use. Maven installation. Okay, so especially Maven installation to use this step. So this is the function we have to use here. Okay, so over here I go to my seed job, configure. Here we tell in this step I want my Maven installation to be this one. Which one? Maven something 3, I think something. So whatever Maven installation name you have, just go and add there. So this is the what I say installation you want to use. Okay, so click and build. Okay. So guys, this time they fail. Why they fail? Because they say Maven function is applicable for argument type. Okay, what I mean by this, so this function you can't directly use. Okay, it is a argument type. What I mean by this, in a minute I will explain to you, but before this let me go to build. Let me first confirm my name is my Maven 3 only. That's right. So what the error was saying, okay, this function, okay, you can use in step that you do is, but it is applicable only for argument type. Okay, so what I mean by this, so let me go here my seed job again. Then we configure. So they're trying to tell you here is, okay, this function you can't directly use. Okay, this function should be part of your argument type. Means, let me go to my help again, go to Maven here. Okay, one minute. Maven. Okay, now if you see here, Maven is a one main function. Okay, either you can use Maven directly, but here you can't customize more. You can only tell something like to package, to compile, to test. Your goal you can say, but you want to customize Maven according to requirement, then you have to use Maven in a block of code. Like Maven is a main function, and inside the Maven you can write a lot of block of code. where you can manually specify your goal. Anybody who know about heap memory, you can decide your Java heap memory. Okay, or plus you can add Maven installation. So that's what guys this guy is talking about. They say Maven installation is just a part of the argument of your Maven function. That's what guys the error is talking about. So technically, let me copy this line of code from here. Okay, and let me paste over here. Okay, and my requirement is only this one. Okay, so one of my step is Maven. In the Maven, I set a goal called, for example, package goal. But here, the installation type that I need is called my Maven 3. So for this Maven step, we said I might have multiple Maven versions, but I want this particular version that I already set to be used. So there's a meaning over there. So technically, not all the functions you can actually use, right? This function you have to run inside Maven you have to run inside a step. So functions, something like this you have to use. Or you can think step is one class, Maven is subclass, or this is the method. So anybody who know classes also, you can think in this way. Okay. Now I think it should run. So this runs successfully. Now if I go to my generated job or my child job, you can see automatically your build step has configured, and now this particular version gonna come up that automatic come. Okay, so that's cool and nice. And then we build this job to test. So now they download the data from the GitHub. Then they use the Maven to create a package. So this concept guys we know already, and successful. There's no error come up. But interesting thing is not with this job. This job we have done already multiple times. But this time we create this job with a DSL. That's the interesting thing. Okay. Now after guys we create the job, we know the jar file created. Okay. And I want to run my jar file. So you guys know how we run the jar file. Okay. So we can ask my cell command that just instead of date command, just go and call Java command and call the jar command. And your current home directory, you have a target folder if you remember guys, and there we have some jar file created. Just go and run it. Okay, so my project is there. We download, we package the project with Maven of this version, and we ask my cell what a jar file they have. Just go and deploy it or maybe run it. That's all. I build it, create a new job. Okay, and when this job run by trigger or by manually, there will be your lookout. Okay, they will download the code, package the code, and finally they run the code and output of hello world come. Okay, that's also we can do. And as you remember one more thing in our job, if you remember, we also create one graph here. We also publish some artifacts here. Okay, so how we can do it? Again, with the job we can do it. How? So if you want to publish some artifacts, obviously after the cell we want to publish. Okay, how to do it? So again, go to your search and search that I have some artifacts archive, and my requirement is I want to do post publish. What I mean by this, guys, can you hold for a second, please? So after my Java archive created, means or Java file created, it's called artifact, and I want my artifact to be published. Okay, so this concept we have already done. So this is one function available. Okay, and publish context we are going to use because we have to publish it. Okay, and this example gonna come up. So in the job, you can use this function to publish. Okay, so let me copy this function. Even though we can go for help and read what they're looking for to have better understanding. Let me copy here. Okay, and you know guys what file unto publish. So in the current target folder, what a jar file you have, I want to publish this. Okay, so that's all. Save, click again, new job created, or the job that already you have it. It reconfigured. If you just see what they configured, so in the post bill action, you can see this option automatically come up. That's what we have done already in my last classes. This option automatic configure for us. And what this option will do, you guys know, when your job run the job, the archive file they create, they publish in this portal. And this is very important option, guys. If you have dynamic provisioning, because after dynamic provisioning, your slave node removed. So I want before they removed, my software will come up here. So I refresh, you can see now software will come up here to download. Or you want to create a graph. You know, guys, we use source fire to create a graph. Okay. Again, if you want to create a graph for archive, okay. So normally, guys, we this source file report is created by unit testing. This is called JUnit. Okay. So what can we do? Again, I go to my seed job and write something here. So we can search for we have some source fire report. And this one thing, guys, source fire is just the name of the report, but this report is created by Maven. When Maven run the test, it's called JUnit test. So if you search for JUnit, okay, and obviously we want to publish something. So publisher context is the post step I need. And here you will see this one. That's what I wanted, my report to be published. So so let me copy this one. That's what I'm looking for. Okay. So again, it's a part of my publisher only. So in my current target folder, inside target folder, we have this folder, and we normally have a report in the terms of XML. So that I want to use. Save. And run. Okay. So finally, guys, the conclusion over here is if I again build, you will see report graph will come created. Conclusion over here is whatever you normally know how to create a job. Okay. 1 minute. I see, guys, this graph come up because of my source file report. Okay. If you know the step, what you're looking for, and if you also know how to configure it manually, if this concept is clear, okay, then this concept, guys, this process you can use, and this approach you can use what I'm talking today. Okay, the entire setup you can create automatically, or entire job you can create automatically. How? With job as a code. Okay, so technically Jenkins tool is used for automation, but in the Jenkins job, which is normally created manually. So if you want job also created automatically, then DSL language you can use that is purely based on Groovy. And now you feel maybe I don't require to have a Groovy as such knowledge. Okay, maybe they're using Groovy, but because of DSL means they make it code and syntax very simple. Okay, by this approach that I'm talking about, to go and see the document, you know the concept is keep on writing everything, keep on testing, and finally your DSL code has been written. Now here I keep this code here manually, but you can put this code. Let's say you're a developer, you put this code in file, upload this file in the GitHub. my ID guys will add some Git here. They download your Jenkins code, or sorry, Git as a code here. And after this, they put the trigger, they keep on checking for the code, and then here they put on the local file system. Means they look for the system and they use this code to create a new job. That would be a complete end-to-end automation of creating the job as a code. Okay, but I think as you got the idea, so highly suggest, guys, first create a job manually, then same job try to create automatic. Okay, by using this approach, so it will give a better practice how the thing work. But this is a very great example we have built on. Okay, and understand guys, this concept is not Jenkins pipeline as a code. So we have one more concept called pipeline as a code is a different concept. So in my next class, guys, I will talk about what is pipeline as code. This topic is job as code. How to create job automatically with the help of code. That's what we discussed today. Okay, so that's all guys for today. Any questions if you have, you can ask me. This code I will share with you to practice. Any question if you have, you can ask.